Listening to good music is obviously so important for musical growth, but as a mandolin player in particular, I think listening to good mandolin music is crucial, just because it gives you so many specific ideas on the type of tone that you want, the licks that you want to play, the tunes that you want to learn, all just from listening to these amazing mandolin artists. When I was teaching at the Swannanoa Gathering earlier this summer, I got to hang out with some of the best mandolin players in the world, and I thought it would be fun to ask each of them what's one mandolin record that they recommend us to listen to. And the resulting list is this video right here, and we'll kick things off with a special word from the amazing Alan Bybee. All right, what's one mandolin record you think everyone should listen to?
It'd have to be this one right here.
What perfect apparel for that question. That's amazing.
Didn't even plan that. It's pretty cool.
You know, Herschel Sizemore was one of the first mandolin players to really approach the instrument with this modern, clean, melodic sensibility, and that's really showcased in the collection of traditional and original tunes on this record, including Herschel's magnum opus, if you will, his tune Rebecca, which is a really popular jam standard these days in the key of B major, which is kind of tricky. John, what's one mandolin record you think all mandolin players should listen to?
Well, it's not a mandolin record per se, but I kind of view it that way, and that's Tony Rice's Manzanita. You get three mandolin players, three of my favorites, Sam Bush and David Grisman and Ricky Skaggs on a few cuts. So not only is the music great, but you know, if you like mandolin, there's great solos on there and interesting takes on traditional tunes. You know, the way David Grisman does that kind of Frank Wakefield-ish playing on a 9-pound hammer, I think it is. And then, you know, all of Sam's solos are just fantastic.
For another classic mandolin record, here's a recommendation from Will Weinman of Weinman Mandolins. Well, what's one mandolin record you think every mandolin player should know?
I know that what comes to mind for me is the David Grisman album where I think he's got a 3-point F4 around the neck of a statue. I mean, you know, Boston Boy, and that just knocks my socks off, man.
High five. The David Grisman Rounder album. That is a really good cover, isn't it? And songs on here, kind of a fun mix of traditional bluegrass stuff, but also some more progressive original tunes, like this Opus 38 number that I'm playing. Kind of an early dog tune that sounds really good on the mandolin, even though David's playing it on the mandola here. And you'll notice that David Grisman makes a lot of appearances on this list as we go through the video, just because he's recorded so much work and done so much monumental stuff for our instrument. And this next record is no exception.
Should have given this some more thought. Obviously the tone poems.
Tone poems.
Everybody should hear that.
Tone Poems. David Grisman and Tony Rice, two players who can just about outplay anyone, but this record is not about fancy picking. It's about reveling in the tone of beautiful vintage instruments. And one of the cool things about this record is that each track is recorded with a different guitar and mandolin. And what I love about the physical version is that it comes with this beautiful booklet with detailed descriptions and pictures of each instrument used on each track. So cool. Emery, what's one mandolin record that you think all mandolin players should listen to?
Doyle, Lawson, Tennessee Dream.
You know, this is one of the only records I know of from Doyle that's just instrumental mandolin tunes. You might know his work from the legendary Bluegrass album band or his own band Quicksilver, which are more kind of singing groups, which is great, but it's cool to hear him stretch out a bit more instrumentally on this record. And there's a bunch of original tunes from Doyle on here that are pretty cool, including this Picking Wild Cherries number here. What's one mandolin record that you think all mandolin players should listen to?
Bluegrass Mandolin Extravaganza. It's always going to be my go-to. it gives you such a wonderful survey of all of these incredible styles on mandolin, from Jesse McReynolds' cross picking to Frank Wakefield's left of center kind of thing, and then you have some really great original tunes that were never recorded elsewhere. I think Cakewalk may have been only recorded there, One-Legged Man from Buck White. So you get new tunes that you probably haven't heard, and you get to like hear all of the best stylists of 50, 60, 70 years of mandolin playing.
And if I could recommend one mandolin record, it would have to be this one right here, which is actually a banjo record, but shh, don't tell anyone. It's Bela Fleck's Tales from the Acoustic Planet, Volume 2, The Bluegrass Sessions. And Sam Bush is playing some incredible mandolin all throughout this album. And the tunes, the performances on here are just first class all around. Check it out.
You know, I don't know if people have suggested this one to you yet or not, but I would say you can find it online. You can find Sam and Alan together again for the first time, which is Sam Bush and Alan Munde. Any Sam Bush is going to be great, but this is just some of the best playing, really featuring Sam on the mandolin and fiddle, and tunes that are really cool and just really a few standards, but a lot of tunes that you may not have heard before, and it's just a great example of what Sam contributed to the mandolin world.
Matt is so right. This Together Again for the First Time record is amazing, but I don't hear too many folks talk about it. Probably because it is hard to find, but if you do find it, it is so worth the listen because there's some incredible playing from both Sam and Alan on here with some amazing tunes as well. That Howdy in Hickman County is a beast. 4 parts with crazy acrobatics up and down the neck. But next up, we're going to be talking to Lynn Dudenbostel, the legendary mandolin luthier, to get his recommendations. What's one mandolin record that you think all mandolin players should listen to?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what did it for me in the beginning. There were actually 2.
Okay.
I was playing guitar and banjo as a teenager, and I saw Bill Monroe quite a few times, but it wasn't until my brother brought home the first Newgrass Revival album, and I got the first David Grisman Quintet album, and those 2 hooked me on mandolin.
The real question is, would you have the amazing Billy Strings without the amazing Newgrass Revival? Sam Bush's band here was one of the first to approach the bluegrass catalog from a modern standpoint, and one of the first bands to incorporate the Space Jam into their repertoire. Their version of Lonesome Fiddle Blues here has this cool riff where each player takes extended solos on, much like you hear in modern jam bands these days. Such a stellar record. But for our last recommendations here, we're gonna meet up with the amazing Mike Marshall to hear what he thinks we should listen to. What's one mandolin record that you think everyone should listen to?
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I think all of this guy's records, obviously, but besides those, yeah.
That's a hard one. I mean, I can speak for myself. Hearing the first David Grisman Quintet record changed my life.
Much like Len and Mike are saying here, this original David Grisman Quintet album was a watershed record. The original dog music album that went on to inspire so many other mandolin records that we know and love today. Some of these tunes have become jam standards like EMD and Opus 57 here. You have to listen to this one.
It's an impossible question. As you know, David.
Sorry.
Everything Sam Bush ever recorded, Katerina Lichtenberg playing the Baroque mandolin, her solo record, you know, I'm a little biased there, but I've learned as much from her as anyone in the world. Jethro Burns' T for One. Oh, the list goes on. You're a mean man.
Sorry. I'm so glad that Mike mentioned this T for One record too. I think it's one of Jethro's best albums. Features playing well ahead of his time. You don't even hear many players today playing like this, to be honest, so you have to take a listen to this. It's kind of hard to find it online, but thankfully Acoustic Disc just issued a remastered version of it that you can buy over on their website. Of course, this is not a comprehensive list. There are so many great mandolin records out there, and towards that end, I would love to hear from you. If you have any recommendations that you would add, please let me know down in the comments below. And of course, all the players that I talked to in this video have incredible records that I would probably add here as well, and I definitely recommend you check them out at some of the links down below. While you're down there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because there's loads more mandolin videos coming your way soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.